Greetings and welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host, David Danto, and joining me is my friend Stephanie Bormann. Stephanie, who runs the HP Foundation. Before I even make a terrible, horrible mistake of explaining what the HP Foundation is, why don't I let you introduce yourself and tell everybody exactly who you are and what you do and what it is?
Thanks, David. I'm Steph Bormann. I'm the Deputy Director of the HP Foundation and HP Inc.'s head of employee giving and volunteering. So I do manage the day-to-day operations of the HP Foundation, and we are a separate 501c3 that is wholly funded by HP Inc. So I am an HP employee, and I have the total privilege of, like I said, managing the foundation and its programs and and volunteering and giving initiatives.
So it's great to find out about it as a Poly employee that joined HP to find out that it even existed. When did the current iteration of the foundation begin? When did it start?
Well, HP has, so the Hewlett Packard Company had a very rich, probably since its founding, a sort of tradition of giving and volunteering. And so the Hewlett Packard Foundation was started back in the 80s in the old company. And then in late 2015, when Hewlett Packard Company split into Hewlett Packard Enterprise and HP Inc., I was part of the team that divided those assets to form two new foundations. So technically, we started November 1st of 2015, just like HP Inc. did.
Terrific. What are the goals of the foundation? What is it
So,
established to do?
yep. Well, we've set 4 bold goals, and they are to contribute 100 million in foundation and employee giving by 2025. We've already beat that goal by $17 million. So we've already to date given 117 million. We want to contribute 1.5 million employee volunteer hours by 2025, and we're at about 1 million right now. We want to enroll 1.5 million people in our HP Life program by 2030, and that we've got about 800, almost 900,000 enrollees in that program. And we are also helping fund HP Inc.'s goal of accelerating digital equity for 150 million people by 2030. And I think we've hit about 21 million accelerations at the end of last year.
That's great. And I have to tell you, just in joining HP, that was actually one of the many unique facets of this that I discovered when I came on board. The fact that I could take the hours that I volunteer for the local causes. But many people know that, both of my adult sons are on the ASD spectrum, and I spend a lot of time with the ASD community. And the fact that the time that I spend there is something that I can account for as part of, the what I do. It's one of the very unique things. There were a number of other unique programs as well, right? Especially for people coming on board. Why don't you tell us, give us a little glimpse about what some of those are?
Sure. So when Poly was merged with HP, we really wanted to, it was such a big group, and we wanted to make sure that they understood all of our programs. So we created a really unique virtual, I like to call it a virtual scavenger hunt, where it kind of took you through all of our different programs. It highlighted that HP will give you 4 paid hours a month to volunteer. It went through how we will match up to $10,000 in employee giving annually. And it taught you how to log your volunteer hours. It explained our HP Life program. And then it kind of gave you a reward for completing all of that. So that was really fantastic. And then that way you can log, like you said, your time that you spend with the ASD community. We also have a lot of programs that we try to get employees out volunteering together. because studies show that that's really great for employee engagement. So we do a lot of that. As I said, another one of our really kind of unique programs is HP Life, and that is a platform, and it's also a mobile app that anyone, anywhere can take one of our 32 classes that teach people basic business and IT skills. And so we're trying to get, like I said, 1.5 million new users by 2030. But we're always adding new courses. So we are in the process right now of doing digital business skills. So like adding a future of work class where people can learn about like, what is AI? What are data analytics? Kind of what are new skills and new things that the workforce is just really going to need to learn. So we're going to go into things like that in this kind of new area of HP Life. Again, they're in 8 languages, and if people want to take a class, like I said, it's free to anyone, anywhere. You can download our mobile app and on any app store, or you can go to www.life-global.org and take it from a PC.
And I have my HP Life program on my mobile phone. It's just a frozen picture of it that I have so that I could share it
You're
with you. Otherwise, I
awesome.
would open too much. But it is really a terrific program. But honestly, now for like the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, we've been talking a lot about the mechanics. And the mechanics are important, and they're very impressive stats. There are a lot of really terrific things. But let's do a slightly deeper dive. Let's give us 2 or 3 examples about what some of the good we do in the world, some of the disaster relief, and some of the other places where the community came together and really supported things. Let's really put a human face on it.
Sure. So, for example, during the Ukrainian crisis of 2022, the company itself donated about $30 million in, computer equipment so that refugees could continue to learn. And the foundation was able to support that effort as well with cash, right? Because it's awesome. These, all of the various, um, you know, countries that were bordering Ukraine and getting refugees, they need equipment, but then they also needed money. And so we donated about 3.3 million so that we could kind of, like I said, work in tandem with the orgs to which the nonprofits and NGOs that were receiving that equipment infusion, and also had the money to like hire people to like run these kind of tent classrooms for kids that were coming in, or just all sorts of things, right? It's great to give somebody a computer where they can learn, but they're also going to need, food, water. Maybe they're going to need, some of our money went to orgs that were giving metro cards, right? So that they could take the metro from wherever they were staying to that classroom to really learn. Um, so, like I say, we donated to global charities like UNICEF and like the UN High Commission on Refugees. And then we also worked with local NGOs in those bordering countries. We matched employee donations. Um, uh, Employees gave probably close to $600,000 that we matched. And so that was fantastic. We gave money directly to the Polish Red Cross because they were very heavily on the front lines of just getting all of those basic human needs met. Um, so those are some of the things that we do. I mean, we also partner very closely with the American Red Cross. We are a member of their disaster responder group of corporations that pre-fund the American Red Cross, so that when disasters strike, they already have the money to go in. And even though it's the American Red Cross, um, we do request that our money also be used internationally because the American Red Cross is so big. They were also a player in providing relief on the Ukrainian border, and they are involved in a number of other um, international disasters. So we do, like I said, we donate to them. We also give episodic donations when disasters that we feel like are big enough that our pre-funding isn't going to cover. We give those. So, for example, like the California wildfires, HP has a pretty big presence with both employees and customers in California. So when the wildfires hit, we've given large donations to the Red Cross with those. Um, we've also helped. I'm trying to think what are some other recent ones, but like when the huge storm hit Texas and pretty much all of Texas a couple of years ago, and all of Texas lost like power and people had no water or heating. We kind of stepped in there where we could. We do a lot of virtual volunteering with the Red Cross through their Map Swipe program, and this is the where employees download an app on their phone, and they're looking at satellite imagery, and they're trying to verify that yes, this rural satellite imagery, places like that maybe you can't just Google Maps, are right where we could say, yes, that is a house, that is a building, that's a road, that's a river, so that we're trying to form these more intensive virtual maps that would be used, or not virtual, but real online maps
Mhm.
that could be used by international relief groups, including the Red Cross, so that they can figure out, heavy population areas, right? Where maybe in certain parts of Africa where you're going to set up a COVID vaccination center, or even if a big disaster hit a very rural place, then they're not going to need to depend on locals who might have been affected by that disaster as well to take them into, navigate them into these towns and places. So we've been loving doing that.
We could
Um,
probably spend hours just reeling off all of the international and domestic based disasters and places where we've stepped up and really provided support for communities wherever they are. It's something to be very, very proud of. I believe, and you were telling me before that the program was recently recognized, right? That we've been doing
yeah.
some awards.
So our overall program, not just our disaster relief side of it, but our overall program was recognized by Benevity, who is a provider of kind of infrastructure for corporate giving and volunteering. We did receive a goodness award from them, recognizing our way that we are communicating our program out to employees to really boost their engagement and really get them involved. So we were really excited to receive one of their goodness awards for corporate social responsibility. It's a real honor. We're super proud of that
Yeah, and as an
this year.
employee really makes decisions about where they would like to work and what organizations they would like to be part of. Clearly, obviously, the tasks at hand and their supervisory chain get enter into it, and also a diversity and sustainability enter into it. But also, is the company doing right by the planet? Is it doing right by our fellow citizens? Our the people of the planet? And it's one of the factors that brings people to HP to be proud of who we are and what we do.
I really agree. We know that especially millennials and Gen Z, they really look at kind of what does our company's giving and volunteering program look like? Um, how, yeah, what's involved? I mean, that's really table stakes as people try to decide where they're going to work.
Even old folks like me.
That's awesome, David. You're young at heart, so it doesn't surprise me.
So I,
Um,
I, re- I remember what it was like when I was young. So as
Yeah,
we talk about all of this, how can somebody find out more about all the good things that the HP Foundation does? Where should they go for information and details and maybe some of the history and some of the stories?
yeah, I think they can always go to our LinkedIn page for the HP Foundation. They will see right now we're posting our video challenge winners from our 40 Days of Doing Good program. So 40 Days of Doing Good started in 2018. It's a really homegrown program that we are super proud of. The HP Foundation has its its prime focus is on digital equity, and this program I feel like brings everything to life for around that. So there's an HP sort of employee volunteer piece where employees set out to do a project, a volunteer project that focuses on digital equity with a local charity. And we had probably over 300 projects, over probably 350 projects during the spring for these 40 during these 40 days. We had over 7,000 employees that participated, and it was really fantastic. So during that volunteer period, they do a project, and again, it's around digital equity. So that's really fantastic within a local NGO. Then, if they choose, they can compete for a grant on behalf of their nonprofit. And the grants are judged based on the strength of their volunteer project. So, how many employees did you have? How many volunteer hours did you do? What type of project was it? How how large was that problem that you solved for the org, right? And so, based on those applications, we awarded 52 charities received a grant. So that's really fantastic. Um, and there's other way to get recognition, right? So we ask employees, make a video about your project, and we will be posting our top 3 video challenge winners in the upcoming week. We ask them, we call it get in the action. So even if you just post a picture of your teammates actually volunteering. I know everyone loves a selfie, but we want to see you doing something, not just posting. So we get a sense of kind of what you did, and you post that on our internal kind of channel, like our internal Yammer channel. You can get a $25 reward incentive that can be donated to any charity. We have the Team Spirit Award. So for the 5, or actually the three top orgs, or projects, I should say, 3 top projects that had the most volunteer hours, they win a $1,000 grant on behalf of their charity. So it's a really fun time. We get a lot of projects where various business units want to get involved, various sites get involved. So it's been really great.
Yeah, no, it actually sounds really wonderful, and I'm going to have to bother you over the next upcoming weeks to get me one of the foundation giving advertising shirts so that I can wear it here on the show and let everybody know about all the fun activities that we've done. The last time we were going to do it, I think the one I was involved when we got canceled because that was the one where you were attending. There was a smoke condition or something at the location. So I'm dying to get my volunteering T-shirt and show it off proudly on the show. I will get the LinkedIn title, and if I do this correctly, you'll see it on the screen over here, the website, so that people can go and look and find out about all the good things that we do. And one last piece, just to make sure, Steph, before we leave, you used the term a couple of times. I understand it. I don't know how many people in the audience did. NGO is a non-governmental organization, right?
That's right. That's right.
What
So
is there?
yeah,
Why is that a distinction?
I think it's just a kind of a more global term that's used for these organizations that kind of have their foot in a lot of different, in a couple different spaces, right? And these big ones would be like UNICEF or like the UN High Commission on Refugees, where they are liaising with government, but they're also filling the need, and they have a nonprofit status.
Terrific. Steph, thanks very much for taking the time to be on the show and tell everybody what's going on with the HP Foundation. One of the things that we're most proud of, and I think hopefully people who do business with us, whether they're customers or partners or employees of the company, just feel better about understanding what the organization does and how we support the global community.
Thank you, David.
Okay, so for all of my colleagues at Poly and HP and at the HP Foundation, I'm David Danto. Thanks very much for joining us. We do appreciate you taking the time every week to be with us. We'll see you next week.